You're still watching Prime Morning, and it's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have. You know, every time we start our day, we start it right, and we started with what's happening in the economy. My name is Roslyn Felly. I'll start with the very first newspaper, which is the Daily Guide newspaper. NDC MPs boycott House over court cases. And we are talking about the Jache court case, where they actually are standing in solidarity with Jache and also Alex Atto, they also have other stories coming in here. Berger MP fails to hold trial. No plot to remove IGP, Interior Minister says so. Government confident of securing second IMF tranche. Let's also see bloodbath in Techiman South NDC. Some stories in the middle page. Kanayo curses daughter's boyfriend. He's been trending because he doesn't like the daughter's boyfriend. Transgender woman wins Miss Netherlands, and Ajete Anand confesses to cheating. Government confident of securing IMF second tranche. I read it earlier. Access Bank champions sustainable energy transition. You can't grow economy without a local industry. This is coming from Tim Mugodi. And Magdan engages UCC students on entrepreneurship. Some sports here. I can't wait for Fenerbahce adventure. Semenya wins court appeal over testosterone limits. Minister calls for football landscape transformation, and beer bottle kills woman after supporters brawl. Woo, not too good. Anyway, that's the Daily Guide newspaper. Let me do the Daily Graphic newspaper. My next paper is the Daily Graphic newspaper. Daily Graphic newspaper. Legislators receive gratuity, not ex gratia. Speaker of Parliament clarifies. Graphic APSA deepen business relations. Autism, not death warrant. GT Bank rolls out major intervention. Okay. Some stories in the center page. 6 envoys present letters of credence to President Akufo-Addo, and commemoration of World Population Day. Government and Twitter to invest in women's health and education. And the back page, Zoom Lion assemblies disinfest Eastern region, and Burkinabe asylum seekers to be resettled in Tarikom. All right, that will be all for the Daily Graphic newspaper. I'll quickly do the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Nobody will sack IGP, Interior Minister assures. Koya Dagbon Forum fight hate speech in Northern Region and pledge to promote peace. Efiri Akoto unveils support plan for NPP, and NPP still has ability to address economic crisis, says Ejako. Well, it looks like the NPP flag bearership race is getting intense and intense and intense. We are still waiting for the 5 who will definitely qualify to compete in November. But for now, we don't have the 5, we still have the 10. Let's do the Economy Times newspaper. World Bank saves VCTF with $40 million. Use mid-year budget to tell Ghanaians how you are cutting down expenditure, economists to government. Be disciplined in fiscal management. Rating agencies can't be blamed wholly, President Akufo-Addo told. Let's see. Okay, there's some stories at the back page as well. Expand tax net instead of introducing new ones, businesses to government. Mining industry must satisfy society's increasing need to resource new energy future. Newmont CEO says so. And revise GIPC Act to be tabled before Cabinet this week. That'll be all for the Economy Times newspaper. I'll do the Finder newspaper as well. The Finder. Minority calls for investigations into leaked tape plotting, IGP's removal. Zoom Lion to replicate Thailand's circular economy model in Ghana. Government settles outstanding coupons, principal payments to bondholders. And I know this has been long overdue. Prospective teacher trainees to write entrance assessment tests. I will set up chain of companies for NPP to alleviate suffering of party members, says Dr. Akoto. All right. That's a Finder. And I'll do the Chronicle newspaper. Supreme Court on the carpet as Ghana loses 3 billion Bonsam Tawa Cash. Peeved Minister Derry says this could have saved the country from going to IMF. Ooh, okay. Ghana must be saved from further decline, Kwabena Japan says so. Akoto promises business empire for NPP and daily trial of Kwesen. Chachu fails to convince judge. And teachers failed licensure exams because they couldn't copy, says GNTC. Really? Okay. Stories in here. Center page, Yao Lecha pledges to support NPA in Volta region. GIS officer who rescued girl from suspected kidnappers promoted. Fantastic. EMNA community members clash with private developer over desecration of public cemetery. And Superior Court justices educated on happenings in shipping industry. Some stories on the back page which happens to be sports. Man United fans wax lyrical about 18-year-old academy star Kobe Mainoo. PSG unveiled brand new $250 million state-of-the-art training complex. Woo, when will we get there, Ghana? Semenya gets hope in battle over testosterone rules as court says she was discriminated against. And Guardiola's criticism that I was overweight was a little hard to take, says Calvin Phillips. And that will be all for the Chronicle newspaper. Now, you know that after we read the newspapers, I have to introduce my guest to you. And on the ticket of the NPP, a gentleman, a fine gentleman who's been joining us. He's been here a few times. And his name, actually, is Saka Salia. Hello, Saka. How are you?
I'm cool. How are you too?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much.
And on the ticket of the NDC is our very own Adelma Ibrahim. Hi, Adel.
Hi, Rosalind.
I'm still yet to get my meat. I see Edward still has the meat.
Hey, I see.
Yeah.
Your meat is still in the freezer?
Yeah, still in the freezer. So I'm eating it. Can you imagine? It's one. Oh. It go be. Anyway, Saka didn't bring us meat, but we've still pardoned him.
I like Saka.
He didn't bring us meat. He didn't bring us meat. Anyway, so now yesterday, we know one big trending issue that almost all the newspapers are also reporting is to do with an alleged leaked tape that purports that the IGP belongs to the NDC, and hence they should get him out of office before election 2024 in order for the NPP to be able to rig the elections. That is what it alleges. As to whether even that tape is credible or not, we are yet to know about it. But for now, also, we know that the Interior Minister has spoken and has said that we should debunk it. Nothing like that. This man has worked so hard, and so nobody's going to take him out of office. But the NDC is also saying that probe further and get to the bottom of it. Don't just say that we should debunk it. We ought to do further investigations to know the truth about it. Salia, let me start from you.
Yeah,
have you heard the tape? That's the first thing I want to know.
First of all, let me greet all viewers and greet the MPP fraternity, especially the president and the vice president, who is more or less our presumptive flag bearer. Yeah, I watched the tape, or I listened to the tape, and if you listen to the tape well, you come to the conclusion that somebody was trapping somebody. Even though I, sitting here, cannot confirm the authenticity or otherwise of that tape, because these days we have seen tapes that voices are even more clearer than this, and then you see them denying. We've seen the NDC chairman who had a meeting with the communicators and was telling them they should go and then take the EC chairperson to the clinics and say all manner of things, which were even collaborated by one of the national officials. But in the end, and even as we are even speaking, I think the matter is still in court. We have heard so many tips that you will see the voice to be very clear, but the person will still tell you that, oh, I'm not the one. And that is the reason why the need for us to have scientific way of deducting whether or not such voice is a person that is alleged or not. But be it as it may, granted the voice is the voice of the people they were alluding to, they are alleging. I think that somebody was trying hard to trap somebody. And I could see some modicum of propaganda in there. Either against the MPP, against the two personalities, or the personalities that were in the conversation. One actually recorded it.
Right.
And the leakage, it could be intentional, it could be maybe somebody leaked it from his phone or something else. But I think that is, you can look at it at two different ways. One could be that even the IGP himself, I'm just guessing,
Right.
could have been part of the orchestration. So that at the end of the day, it will be, because I have seen this IGP to be the best IGP in recent time.
So help us understand this.
Yes.
You said the IGP could be a part of the orchestration.
Okay.
How?
Yeah. So I have seen this IGP to be one of the best, the best in recent time. And therefore, to hear individual, because even when he was going to be appointed or nominated, I know people from the true political divide who were not okay with his nomination. I know from the MPP, I even know from the NDC side. I've seen, even when he was given the role, the way the NDC chastised him at every turn, calling him names and calling him an operative of the MPP and all that. For such to happen, and in recent time, you remember the Asinov by-elections, some people came with certain misgiving about the fact that he seemed to be tilting towards one particular angle. And I'm just saying that it could be a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that is the case.
No, but you said
So
it could be.
I'm driving there.
No, wait. You said that it could be that he's part of the orchestration.
Yeah, so that is where I'm driving.
How could it be that he's part of the
That is where I'm driving at.
Okay.
Yes. So the people who are accusing him here and there, some people were even, this is not the first time some people are calling for his resignation. Others have called for his resignation because of his high-heartedness. And some people within government, not within government, some people who have some sympathy towards government are not comfortable with the way he handles things and all that. It's a matter of, it's been in the media here and there. So in order for him to get the buy-in of Ghanaians, somebody could have leaked it and see the reaction of the public. That, some people are orchestrating my removal. Let me put it out there. So that Ghanaians, because look, when it happened, we have seen.
Okay, so again, I want to understand.
So I want to bring all the angles. No. So I'm now first in the IGP angle.
Wait, you see, Saka, we don't have all day. So if we say we are now going to bring all angles.
Yes.
Let's go straight to the point.
Yes.
What you are saying, people, the viewers who are watching want to understand. It could be that he is part of the orchestration. It could. Yeah. That's what you said.
Yes.
Your reason is what? So that Ghanaians will.
So that nobody can remove him again, because it would have come to the public domain.
So in this orchestration,
people would have,
was he the one who actually made them say what? I'm coming. I'm asking you a question. Yeah. Was he the one who actually made them say what they said and recorded it and releases as part of orchestration, or it was said? It was recorded, he got the tape, and he released it. Which is which?
We don't know. I don't know whether you know how the tape was released. That is the reason why, you see, I don't want it to, because I have a lot of points on this. I don't want it to look like, it was the orchestration of the IGP and then that's all.
No, you're not saying so you said it could be.
Yes.
Which so we are not ignoring the word it could.
Yes.
But my point is that whatever you are saying it could, we should have good backing. You understand?
Yes.
The backing must be solid. Because if you're saying it could be that because maybe he doesn't want to be taken out of office, why will you take him out of office in the first place?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because the man, in the eyes of Ghanaians, is one of the best IGPs we've ever
Exactly
had.
what I was talking
why
about.
will the party
Yes,
want to
exactly
take
what
him
I'm
out of
talking.
office?
Because look, he is the best. To be honest with you, I have always said so everywhere that I go. Because it doesn't matter whose ox is got. He doesn't look at political color before taking decisions and all that. But if at a certain point you hear calls from one angle or the other, asking for his resignation, asking for his removal and all that, you can stage something and put it out there to see how it will pan out. Whether or not the Ghanaian people will support you, whether they will support those calling. Because I have heard that there are a group of, there's a section of the police force that is not in his support for various reasons. But the general public, for maybe the internal matters, somebody can be very popular outside, but very unpopular inside. And those who were talking were the police, were the inside people. So they know what they are doing and all that. But that is just guessing, like I said. The second thing is that these are people who might want to do this for political reasons. Nobody, look, let me emphasize. I don't think that the MPP would want to do such a thing. I mean, we bring our own person and then want to do something in order to remove him from office. Because the success of the IGP is the success of the MPP government. And therefore, if the IGP is making inroad, look, the last time those two guys, went and shot the policeman at the Bullion van.
The Bullion van?
I sat somewhere in one radio station and I was saying that they should just give us, because I didn't even consult anybody. I didn't consult with the police establishment or anybody, but I said they should give us a maximum 2 weeks. And that I have confidence in the police that they will apprehend those guys. And indeed, they are facing, a court of law. So I'm saying that irrespective of whether he is popular within the police force or whether he's popular or unpopular within the police force, what we want is a police force that will be up to the task, a police force that will be highly professional. And I think that we are seeing all this thing. We are seeing that the police establishment or service have taken on a notch higher now. Their professionalism have increased, their visibility have increased, and whatnot. And therefore, anybody calling for his head, such call will not see the light of day. And that is where we are today. But in all things, I believe that what matters most is the ultimate security of the Ghanaian people. And this particular IGP, despite his background, they were telling us, oh, he was Professor Mills and all that. As if Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo didn't know that. Before he was appointed as the IGP, his background is known. This is not something, even being a bodyguard to a politician does not necessarily mean, or doesn't even mean that you belong to that particular.
All right.
And therefore, all those calls, the tape, and the spin that political propagandists want to put on it, I think that is neither here nor there.
All right, let me take Adele's opinion. Have you listened to the tape?
I have listened to the tape.
Okay.
And before I even say anything else, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Mr. Ahmed Nasigri from Tamale. He is with the DVLA. So this fugu you see me wear was actually a gift from him.
Oh, nice.
And it was from a show that we had here together with you.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so
fantastic.
Mr. Ahmed, I am immensely grateful. God bless you. I appreciate it. Rosalind, having said that, I'd like to first of all indicate that from Saka's submission, he admits, at least to a certain point, that the tape is not doctored, because we're having a conversation that the tape is doctored.
I said granted, it is not doctored before I started.
Yeah. Okay, granted that it is not doctored.
Yeah.
I don't believe it is doctored. The reason why is because when you listen to the tape and you listen to the background, it is not a clear tape. It tells you that whoever recorded the tape did it from a distance because their voices was not even loud enough. The second question is, the kind of noise on the background also indicates that whoever recorded it perhaps may have not been a part of that meeting. Because if I put my phone recorder here and I want to record this conversation we're having, there's a level of, sound we would get. And of course, looking at the environment and how serene and quiet it is, there's a sound we're going to get. What this tells you is that someone perhaps had a conversation going on and they decided to record it. And you would notice, again, that it was a long conversation. So it was in and out, in and out. It wasn't the kind of conversation where two people just sat down to discuss a particular topic. It was random. Listen, he said again that why would they bring their person and then want to take him out? Why would you bring your person and then want to take him out? What does it mean to say, why would we bring our person?
Yes, appointee.
But they appointed him, so he's their person, yes.
Okay, so you meant your appointee.
Yes.
Not
on political grounds.
Not on political grounds.
Exactly.
Okay, I can understand that. But
it means that why will I appoint somebody
and then take
when I have so much hope in the person and then I take the person out, especially when everybody knows that the person is doing well.
Rosalind, next year's election is one that is critical. It is the kind of election that people have started to see as the second independence of Ghana. People are really, really hoping and praying that the tables turn next year. Our call is simple. Our call is that, first of all, the tape must be investigated. I am sure if I sat here and said that I would raise a gun to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo tomorrow if I saw him anywhere, I'll be investigated. Somebody would want to know, why did Adele say that? What conversations has he had? And anything that has to do with the sovereign will of the people is treason. To us, to go to an extent of having a conversation and discussing on how an IGP should be taken out just so an election can be rigged. Rigging that election is basically turning the will of the people or subverting the will of the people. It is totally unacceptable and it's treasonable. So we say that an independent, institution should be allowed to investigate this. We would want to know who are those on the tape, because there are other people who spoke on the tape who are not identified. Who are those other people who spoke on the tape? We would want to know. 3, if it is established that those tapes are not doctored, people should be arrested. Remember recently when we had these issues of leaked tapes and the likes about some people who wanted to do coup? You remember? It's been in the courts already and people have been arrested and all of that. Let this not be one of those things where the MPP decides that this is one of our babies, so we're not going to touch it. No, we're sick and tired of it. Look, everybody is tired.
They say they won't touch it.
I have heard, the Minister, Interior.
Derry? Honorable Derry,
indicate that, he is comfortable with the work of the IGP and doesn't think that he'll be taken off. It could be, like he's saying, it could be that this is just to test the waters. Let's push it out there and see how people are basically going to react to it. You see, these people, they are very cunning. When they're doing stuff, you take it for granted. By the time you realize it's happening, we won't do. Look, we're here, they told you, we won't go. IMF, no, we won't go. To 2 weeks, even before, 2 weeks to go into the IMF. They were still insisting 3 days to IMF. We're not going anywhere. We are not like that. Yes, we would not remove the IGP. We are here. We will not remove the IGP. We will not remove the IGP. We will not remove the IGP. Give it time. Between now to next year, you'd see things that will happen. So we're saying we're not, this time around, the NDC is not leaving any stone unturned. Whatever investigations needs to be done, they have to do it. If they want the country to be governable, they want all of us to follow up, they would have to do things a bit differently.
So now let's talk about, this that is happening. Right. Now everybody here seems to be talking about the fact that it could be a plot to test the waters. Some are also saying that, from you, Saka, it could be even from the camp of him, his own camp releasing it. Could it also be that it's the NDC camp releasing that?
Yeah, I think that it could not be coming from the MPP.
You think it's not?
For the MPP, it could not be coming from them, because the tip, more or less, is diamond of MPP.
Is what?
Diamond. Like, whatever that the people were plotting would have inured to the benefit of MPP.
How does it inure to the benefit
for instance, if somebody is saying that, I didn't hear the word rigged.
Okay.
I don't know whether the word rigged, the election was used. Because I didn't listen. I think the tip, we have the short one. I listened to that one. So I'm saying, if whatever that they are doing today, whatever that is in the tip, if it is implemented and the IGP is removed or not, it will not inure to the benefit of the NPP.
But the reason for the removal is supposed to help the NPP win the elections in 2024.
Yeah.
Could it be that because of what happened in Asin North, we take a look at Asin North, that's the recently just ended by elections, where we saw that, you know, the party faithfuls had some of the party faithfuls were arrested by the police.
Yeah.
We saw your executives go to the police station and say, release these men because they are party faithfuls. And police still stood their ground and said, we are not releasing them because they are hooligans to us. But we saw your general secretary there. We saw your party chairman there. Could it be that this is one of the reasons why, you know, we are hearing this leaked tape? That probably in your camp, there's been a discussion. Just take a look at Asin North. This will happen. If we don't take this man out, he's going to worry us. The boys that we'll use, probably, you know, he's going to arrest them. His men are vigilant. So let's take him out so that it will be easy for us to win 2024.
Yeah, but I mean, this tape was not coming from the NPP. Like, it was coming from policemen. And therefore...
But in every institution, people belong to political parties.
Yeah, but I mean, at that level, their political lineage is not disclosed. So these were policemen who were having, you know, a hearty conversation, or who were having their own conversation about their profession.
But we are yet to even know who recorded, who said that. So for that, I don't know if you understand me. So we sit here and we have a conversation. That's a recording. Until maybe somebody knows my voice and the person will be able to say, this is Rosalind's voice.
Yes.
But if I'm not that popular, somebody might not know my voice. So we are now going to investigate, was it Rosalind that spoke? Was it Brenda that spoke? Was it Esiedwa that spoke? Was it Saka or it was KMG? Was it Adele or it was, you know, Kelvin? These questions will come up. So for now, we don't even know if it's actually a policeman. We don't know yet. That's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah. I mean, I think that all the things that we are all doing is conjecture. Everybody is, you know, trying to find out whose voice is that and all that. But some people are more closer than others to finding the authenticity of the voice and all that. But I think that in all these speculations and conjecture and trying to find out who were the voices behind the faceless, one will come to that conclusion that they are policemen. For that is clear. That is irresistible conclusion.
Okay.
But I am saying with emphasis that if you listen to the tape well, what those policemen, supposed policemen, were discussing, where they were in the frolic of their own. They did not have any backing or any information or any meeting with MPP to the extent that the MPP want to rig an election and therefore somebody who is doing his legitimate work should be removed and then give way laxity for the MPP to win an election. That cannot be. Even if they had mentioned the name MPP, because I was listening to them, they were saying all manner of things that, he was even being projected by Poladome Ochire and Co that he will become John Mahama running mate. I mean, we all listened to that program. It was not about NDC. They were talking about the fact that he being a neutral could match the NDC if the NDC want a neutral person as a running mate, and the MPP as well. So I think that all the things that they were even talking about, a lot of it was coming from an uninformed position. And therefore, for political players to come and sit and then extend the conversation even to the MPP, to the extent that Adele sits here and talk about second independent, and if you are doing second independent, I don't think that it is John Mahama that will give us that independent. Okay. Because he has already colonized us. And the colonizer cannot give us, cannot be the one that will come and to pretend over an independent state. So let's not go and use this thing once again in the political football.
Okay.
Some people
but do you agree that it should be probed?
Of course. I mean, we need to probe this thing to its logical conclusion.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, even, you see, at the end of the day, those who, I'm sure they are high officers, it means that the life of even the IGP is in danger. If the IGP visits the region,
that's if the
northern
IGP
region,
is not part of it, right?
Pardon?
That's if the IGP
that is if the IGP is not part of it. If the IGP visits that region, the IGP will be relying on their protection. And these are people who already are giving their misgiving about the reign of the IGP and the point that they don't support. You remember what happened to Kwame Nkrumah? Kwame Nkrumah was removed by the then IGP and some, police, military, and all those. So if you have an establishment that do not have confidence in you, that at every turn they want to talk bad about you, it means that they cannot even guarantee your security anytime you visit that region. And to us, I think that is very dangerous, and therefore the tape must be investigated.
Right.
Rosalind, listen. The NDC is clear. Whether it is a doctored tape, whether it's from the MPP, whether it's from the IGP himself, whether it's from the police service.
Whether it's from the NDC?
It cannot be from the NDC.
Okay.
And I'm saying it cannot be from the NDC because we have a certain feel of what is going to happen next year. We're ready for it. We've planned, we've waited, we're basically striving to get to next year. We're not leaving a stone unturned. We're going for this election, and we're winning it.
Why can't it be from the NPP? Because sometimes we create stories for sympathy basis, right? It's part of politics, isn't it?
It is also possible. It is also possible, if you want to look at all the nitty-gritties, it's also possible that, okay, the MPP is actually in a very nice shift with, Dampari, so let's throw this thing out to make it look like we're going to remove him. Then we maintain him, and then he does the dirty job. We're not leaving any stone unturned. We're saying, look, whatever they want to do, they should bring it on. The people of the country are tired. People are sick and tired. They saw it in Asen North. It was clear. We will take it. We won't give it to you. Because the people are tired. So nobody should sit in some comfortable room somewhere and think that, we can play with the minds of the people and we can... This is how they started with Charlotte say. They always have a way.
But they didn't appoint Charlotte Osei. So if you make that example, because when it comes to the IGP, they appointed him. Salia did say, why would we bring our person and then we take the person out? When it comes to Charlotte Osei, Charlotte was appointed by John Dramani Mahama.
Ejako, you remember Ejako? Mm-hmm. You remember Ejako?
Mm-hmm. The former energy minister?
When he was accused of deceiving the president, who appointed him? Who appointed him?
No, but there were issues to that.
I'm not disputing. Why?
But because for now, saying, you see, Adele,
yes.
With that, we all know that there were issues. This particular one, we are yet to even get to the bottom of it. Because, again, the IGP hasn't done anything for Ghanaians to, or for even everybody to say that, okay, IGP has done A, B, C, D. Hence, we are taking him out. So, again, if we make that comparison, Ejako faulted. But
even Ejako resigned himself. It was not sacked.
Listen.
He resigned. I'm only giving information.
Sure. Listen, Rosa, listen. My argument is this. My argument is that looking at the MPP over the years, looking at the president and looking at how they have handled things going forward, they are very, very cunning.
Okay.
Very, very cunning. Look, when you're dealing with these
so you agree that we should just go into it,
that is what we have said.
Should investigate.
We have said investigate it. Okay. Find an independent body. Let them investigate it. Let's see the reality of whatever is inside the tape. Okay. Whoever is responsible, whoever is on that tape should be arrested. If we have to go to jail, let's go to jail. But we are saying that regardless of whatever comes out from it, we're telling them we're not leaving any stone unturned. We're ready for it.
What stone are you talking about here?
So for now, but you understand or you agree with us that, these tapes, they come out and nobody has been prosecuted yet, right?
True.
Because we've heard tapes from the camp of the NDC.
True.
Nobody
I'm not
has been prosecuted about it.
True.
Right.
But I'm saying that when it comes to issues regarding treason, it's not something that you play with. Because, like I give you an example.
Is this different from what...
no, but the NDC chairman has been prosecuted. And then this...
No, it's in court.
It's in court.
Yeah, it's in court. And
then the Volta region, those that were purported to have wanted to do a coup. That's also in court.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see how it goes. But all we're saying is that all these machinations, it won't go anywhere for them. It won't help them. If they want.
It will help the police people.
It won't help the MPP.
But why is the tape coming for MPP?
Let's see what the future.
Why are you quick to say it's not from them?
No. Why are you quick to say? No, but see, I am quick to say
we are yet to get to the bottom of it.
Because
let's investigate.
Because
he can hold on to his opinion. I hold on to my opinion.
Let's wait for the investigations to go on. We'll get to the bottom of it right when investigation starts. Of course, investigations will tell us who spoke, who didn't speak, who recorded it, which camp it's coming from, whether it's coming from the police, it's coming from the NPP, or it's coming from the NPP.
It could not be coming from the NPP.
Even if it is coming from the
there is no way it could be coming from the NPP.
We will get to know.
Yes.
But till investigation is done, we can't say that it's coming from the NPP or the NDC, or it's coming from the police camp.
No, but for the police,
okay.
I mean,
from
what they are talking.
The greatest conversation is that the conversation talks about the fact that if we do not take him out, the MPP has a lot to lose. Who does it target more?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
My brother.
That MPP will not put such a thing on the public domain and let Ghanaians know that.
But MPP didn't put it out. It wasn't put out by the
You think it was intentional?
It was leaked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So how are you saying that the MPP will not put something like that? See, it was speaking.
When you say leak,
yes.
It is possible it was not leaked.
Okay.
It is also possible.
So are you saying that it's the MPP that brought it out?
No, and I'm saying that it could not have been brought out by the MPP, knowing very well that the people are mentioning MPP, that if they remove Dampare, it will kneel to the benefit of MPP. And therefore, MPP will not put it there in the public domain.
No, nobody's saying the MPP.
Yes, but I'm also saying that, look, one, it could be leaked. Two, it could be intentional. Somebody could just bring it out.
You said it.
To muddy the waters or to put the MPP name in the mud.
Rosalind, whoever recorded that tape was not sitting on that table.
Who told you that?
Let's go to court where we know Katie Hammond and Jache Kwesen are going to court. Of course, Jache has sued Katie because of some things that he said against him. Katie Hammond is very confident in this whole court issue, and he's saying that I will meet the lawyers in court. I don't know what your take on it is, Saka.
Yeah, I think that Katie Hammond is a lawyer of high standing, and everybody with small knowledge of the law knows that when a matter is in court, you don't prejudice the outcome. That will be sub judice, and therefore, whatever that he was talking about, he chose his words very well. He has collaborated this thing in his media interactions here and there. I think that this is a matter of court. I mean, the matter is even in court. The court will have to deduce as to whether what he said is sub judice. Because, I mean, if you look at the Constitution, Article 19, fair trial, Article 14, you cannot pronounce somebody guilty when the person has not gone through due process of law, or when the person himself has not pleaded guilty. So, for you to say that he will go to prison, he might have said certain things before arriving at that conclusion. You remember when in Asinov, when Nanado mounted the podium, and he made the point that you want to save the people from prison, the NDC jumped to the conclusion that it means that Nanado was prejudicing the outcome of the case. But that wasn't the case, because Nanado had said certain things, and what he said that the NDC and their cohorts, harped on, preceded something. Because look, what Nanado was saying. Nanado was saying that you, Jache Kwesen, said that whether or not they vote you, whether or not you are tried in court, the people of Asinov will vote for you. And Nanado then concluded, so you want to save the people from prison?
No, but there are so many cases in court that doesn't state that you will go to prison. Not all cases in court end up in prison.
No, but you are not getting it.
No, wait. You two are not getting it. You are saying that Nanado said that you want to save the people from prison. The person says, I'm in court. It doesn't say that the person is guilty. My going to court doesn't show that I'm guilty yet.
I'm telling you what, you listen to what I'm saying.
I am listening.
I'm saying that Jache Kwesen himself said that even if he is in prison, even if he's incarcerated, the people of Asin will still vote for him. When somebody is in prison, it means that he's already in prison. It means that the court has pronounced guilt and sentenced him. So Nanado was saying that, so you are saying that the people should vote for you so that you save them from prison? And he was asking the people not to do so. They should vote for somebody who doesn't have any encumbrance. You get what I mean? So that was it. And in this KTM case, I haven't heard him so clearly, and therefore cannot go into the matter, especially when the matter itself is in court.
He issued a statement in an interview. He said, "I'm not sure if those lawyers understand what precedent is, but I think I predicated my statement on the fact that there is what in legal terms called precedence. So we are meeting in courts. They played a game on me to serve me with the document, but I have accepted it."
Yeah. So sometimes you can, like you said, if the law is clear and unambiguous. I mean, our laws even say that the law must be predictable. The law must be predictable. The outcomes of the law, for instance, I mean, if you should know that if I steal, I will be in prison for this number of years. So it also says that the Constitution says that the law has to be predictable. So if somebody says that, if, I'm sure that he
ignored the if.
He ignored it. Sometimes you can ignore if, but the real meaning could connote if.
That is why, when you use the word could, I kept on stressing on it because I know how Ghanaians are. You said could, and somebody will say, Saka sat on TV and said IGP released his own tape.
Exactly. So I think that this is a very dicey one. Let's leave it to the courts to peruse the matter, and because he will have his day in court, his counsel will go and then look at the matter. So if at the end of the day he prejudices the outcome of the case, he will have for contempt. Okay. And in contempt is the court that will prefer the findings or whatever that the court can do about that. But we have seen contempt cases at the Supreme Court where eventually somebody go and then beg and then
or settled out of court sometimes.
White, for instance, when he scandalized the court recently, he begged and then the court forgave him. And we've seen in the 2012 presidential petition where a lot of guys, including some from the NDC, some from the MPP, were pardoned. Some went and spent some days let's leave it to the court.
To the court to decide. Yeah. Okay, Adele.
Rosalind, one of MPP's ministers indicated some time back. I'm trying to recollect the name, but perhaps when I raised the issue, you'd remember. When he said that when the laws or judgments are seen to be, going towards one side, it becomes a problem for the state. Kandapa. It becomes a problem for the state. Why? Because people would assume that, somebody is sitting somewhere pulling plugs. And you see, that is how we in the NDC feel today. Yes, I'm being honest with you.
Why do you feel like that?
I'll tell you that. Look, we have a certain judge who is handling Opuni's case, who has openly been seen campaigning for the president, who has openly been seen with the president. The case has been brought to court. It has gotten to a point where Attorney General himself has indicated that, look, they don't have any other documentation. In fact, we're supposed to restart the case. A judge has been taken off. A new judge has been brought in. It's just too ridiculous. I'm coming, please.
Campaigning for president is not standing for
election. Let him land, please. When you were making your points, he didn't.
Yeah, no, but
right.
How many chiefs in this country have not stood on platforms and then campaigned for the president? How many? How many? Haven't we seen that? So for me, it's almost like
we've seen for the NDC as well.
See, the problem is that when it comes to them, they act as though it has never happened. Like, they are quick to always go like, as for us, if it is somebody else, they're happy, they're excited. If it is them, it's something else. When I listened to K.T. Hammond, the man was like, he directly indicated that the chief who indicated that this case against Judge Kwesi should be thrown out. He's an NDC man. He's an NDC man. That man is a liar. He's an NDC man. But it is okay. If some other chief says Nana Akufo-Addo is a good person, he should go. Like, don't do that. Like, forward. If it's bad, it's bad. Regardless of who is there. If it's NDC and it's bad, it's bad. If it is MPP and it's bad, it's bad. But they have this attitude when it comes to them. It's like they see themselves gods. Look, we're the same. And I keep telling you, Rosalind, without equity, there's nothing.
No, because they haven't. They don't.
I'm going into the matter.
When you say that they see themselves as God,
no,
we are deviating a little bit.
No, I'm coming. We're not deviating. Listen,
because we are talking about this particular case.
I am bringing
and everybody and how they handle their issue.
No problem.
Maybe the NDC wants to handle their issue like, okay, when it's this, we are not going to speak about it. Now the NPP is also handling it like this. Why, if you feel the style is what is helping them win, probably you should go on the same tangent, right?
Everybody knows. Everybody knows what is right and what is wrong.
Good.
If you and I are placed in front of a judge and we commit crimes, and I see a crime perhaps similar to each other, and I see the kind of judgment given to me and I see the kind of judgment given to you, it was a worry. Are you aware of the fact that since last year, Buja Jemfi had filed a case against the deputy majority whip on the case of the fact that Ahmed, that he had defrauded some people in Australia. And we've been calling for him to be removed because he has actually been indicted by a court in Australia. Till today, 1 year gone. I shouldn't be worried. I should be worried. Because Judge Kwesi has already been sent to court and it's already been dealt with. So I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, why is it that when it comes to us, their attitude, the courts look at us differently. But when it comes to them, it's okay. Anything can pass.
But somebody else took it to court.
I am saying.
Yes,
I'm not disputing.
It's a Ghanaian, it's an individual who took it to court.
I'm not disputing.
Yes.
I'm saying that what is the problem with us having to hear the case of Ahmed 1 year gone? Why? The people must perceive it. We must all feel that something is being done right. Then we can build the confidence.
So maybe somebody else should take Ahmed to court.
Perhaps, maybe. Perhaps, maybe. But does it really matter whether Buja Jemfi sent this on NPP? If it's a crime, it's a crime. So what? If I am NDC, I walk out in the streets, I see someone knock somebody with a car. I say, oh, I have citizens arrest. I've arrested, I've sent to the police station. Because Adele is from the NDC, won't deal with the issue. Can you imagine? Who does that? Katie Hammond said something. He said the man will go to jail. You talk about President Saka, but you forget that the last time you and I were on the platform, you indicated again that yes, even though there are precedences, however, judgment lies in the bosom of who? You said it. Lies in the bosom of who? The judges. You said they have the right to change even though there are precedences.
No, we are talking about the Supreme Court.
No problem.
Yeah,
I'm saying that
they are not bound to follow their
well, these lawyers are definitely going to have to defend their people in court.
Certainly.
I don't know if Katie will represent himself or he'll have another lawyer.
Definitely, he would have to have he would have to have a lawyer. He cannot. So my argument is basic. I'm saying that, listen, they're making categorical statements. He will go to jail. We know them. This is how they do.
What if they use the word could?
I mean, could. Look, anybody is a potential, jail person. We spoke about this. So could would have probably made a little bit of a difference. But when you make categorical statements, he would go to jail. He would go to jail. So what happens when he goes to jail? So let's say at the end of the day, the court goes and then let's say truly, the court decided that, okay, we want to actually put him in jail because what he has done was unacceptable. You think people will believe you? When the president is saying it? When Katie is saying it? When everybody else believes he's going to jail and they are saying it even before judgment?
The president said he could. That's what the president said. The president didn't say he will go to jail. He said he could go to jail. So why do you want to vote for somebody who will rule from jail? He never said he will go to jail. Okay, so he would go to jail. He could go to jail. People don't know that when the case is in court, until judgment is coming, it's 2 ways. It's 50-50. You repeat it. So that's why you use the word could. No problem, it's fine. But we are saying that, listen, you see, when a snake bites you and you see a worm in your washroom, you jump. Until you have the opportunity to actually watch the worm and see this is actually not a snake, it's a worm. You jump. It's your first reaction. We are saying that, looking at how they have handled us over the years, we're not leaving any stones unturned. It was the right decision for Jachi to actually sue him, let him come to court, let him defend himself.
when we, the NDC, say that we think that judgments are going on one side, then they say, oh, we don't like the courts. But when Kandapar says that the judgments must not be seen towards one side, it is okay. This is my worry. I'm saying that, look, it doesn't matter who it is. If it is wrong, it is wrong. If Adele does it and it's unacceptable, it is unacceptable. If Saka does it and it's unacceptable, it is unacceptable.
All right.
Let
me read a message coming in and then you can make your point.
Yes.
Good morning. Salia obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. How can he say the IGP is part of it? He never said the IGP is part of it. He said the IGP could be. Everybody in this case could be a potential in there. So let's not jump to conclusion with what he said. He says, please let him withdraw. He didn't say it, so there's nothing to withdraw. He said security is important. This coming from E.A. Metal Nuno Jr. Okay. You wanted to make a point, Saka?
I wanted to say that Ada was telling us about their paranoia when it comes to anything courts. But you see, the problem with the NDC, don't come and, throw what Kandapar told you people or said in public and then use it and harp on it and make your point. The fact of the matter is that the NDC, their lawyers and everything, they are always mostly consumed by propaganda. And that is the reason why even when they have a matter in court, they don't come, they don't come with facts that can win them in court. I remember even when Professor Mills was a president, the NDC was in power. They took a lot of people to court. They never won even one. More than 12 people. They never won even one. And we're even telling them that the NDC was becoming synonymous to losing cases. That was NDC in power. So if you are losing cases under the MPP, it is a status quo because you are not diligent. Whenever they go to court, especially look at what happened with the presidential petition.
But we all know that in 2012, the NPP didn't win the case in court.
No, but listen.
So if you say that it's something that has been happening,
let me tell you the difference. When you give them the difference, then they will tell you that when it is them, look, 2012. Do you know the number? The justices of the Supreme Court were 9. NPP was able to convince 4 of them. In fast forward, 2020 election petition, the NDC could not even convince even the man on the street to be on his side. It means that the NPP actually went to court, not on frivolous grounds, and we went to court with serious grounds. But these people, look at what the embarrassment that Seydou Nkeche came and did there. You came to court, they asked you, where's your figures? Say, my lord, I left the figures in the house. Meanwhile, you were holding a calculator as big as this to come and calculate some people's figures. And you had left your figures in the house. Now, when they rule against you, then you turn around and say that, they are biased, the judges are biased and all those things. If you don't have case in court, you always embarrass yourself. Don't come and blame anybody for your problems.
Always because Judge Kwesi has a case? He was vindicated earlier, and so why is he in Supreme Court?
He was Judge Kwesi was vindicated.
No, he was. In fact, he was found guilty.
He has never been vindicated. And when he was found guilty, yes,
it wasn't criminal. Now we want to criminalize it.
Yeah, because that was the civil aspect. You see, that was the civil.
So why do we want to criminalize it?
They did.
He was taken out of power.
I am saying that Adamu Sakandi, the Mujamani Sakandi case, for instance, Adamu Sakandi first of all flouted the law. I mean, broke the constitution, and he was removed from parliament. But the NDC went with the criminal aspect, and they got him incarcerated, and he eventually died. So it is the law. It's not as if this is the charges are something else.
Okay.
That is the law. You remember even Wyoming matter. The Wyoming matter, the civil one was there. The civil one, he was found guilty. He was asked to pay the money. But when the matter went for the criminal one, he was freed.
Messages coming in, more messages coming in. This one says, so this government thinks every office must connive with them to use every illegal means to subvert To subvert the will of the Ghanaian people, there is no doubt that the decision of the IGP to remain impartial in the discharge of his duties will definitely incur the displeasure of those who are unable to manipulate them. The multiplicity of the Ghanaian populace will be the judges even if the IGP is removed from office today. I urge the IGP to remain resolute in ensuring that the right thing is done. This government has really disappointed the Ghanaian citizenry. This coming from Daniel from Sandima. All right, more messages coming in too. Ghanaians are now finding it difficult to believe this government. The reverse of anything they say usually happens. They said there won't be haircut, yet there was haircut. They said that we won't go to IMF. Today we are struggling with an IMF program. How do you believe in a government that is built on lies and needless propaganda? The statements issued by the Interior Minister concerning the plot to remove the IGP is a clear contempt to sweep matters under the carpet. There should be an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this secret recording. Again from Daniel. Okay, Daniel seems to be, sending in more messages. You can also send in your message, and we'll definitely want to read it on air.
Daniel should know that the NDC,
it's okay. It's my time.
Led by Sami Jemfi, was on the IGP that the IGP should resign.
Okay.
So Sami Jemfi was speaking for the NDC.
Okay, let me come to Adele.
Listen, you go to court. This is somebody who is supposed to respond to things that I've given. We went to court. We indicated that these are the questions we'd like to ask the Electoral Commission. The judges say, don't worry, you would ask her. We will let her enter the box. Then you can ask her. They refused to let her enter.
Oh,
Saka, why?
That wasn't what happened.
What happened?
Saka.
So what happened? Did she enter the box?
He said when it comes to cross-examining.
Did she enter the
but
box?
She had the right to be cross-examined or not.
There's a right there when you go to court. Yes, you can say that you want the person in court, but the lawyers can actually decide that they speak with the judges, plead with the judges, and there's a decision of the person not to go into the box.
So let me ask you something. I'm asking you. She announces 3 results. We're uncomfortable with that. There was a first one, there was a second one, there was a third one. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. 1 plus, Saka, please. 1 plus, you don't have to even do the gesture. 1 plus 1 is 2. Listen, 1 plus 1 is 2. If you come and you say, it was 2 minus 3, we know that the answer is 1. So obviously, if you're giving me 1, 2, 3 answers, there's a problem. We say we want to know. You don't think it is incumbent for her to come and answer. Regardless of what right she has, you don't think it is incumbent for her to answer. You put that one aside. Aside that one, we raised other issues in court. Of course, we had issues with our tabulations and all of that. But why? Is the Electoral Commission not for the entirety of the state? Is the Electoral Commission for NMPP? They are for Ghana. There are people who are Ghanaians, who are NDCs, who voted for the NDC, but they are Ghanaians. She's accountable to each and every one of us. So why? If we say bring in, why is it after elections, our BVDs, why do we keep data on them? Why? So that when there are issues, we can all examine them. So if I say that, okay, for certain reasons, I don't even have the entirety of mine, bring what is for the state, which is not yours. You say no? And then you say it's okay. Listen, no, I'm coming.
Let me.
Wait, you just speak your language.
I said, Saka, you had your time. You've had your time.
No, but he also just had your time.
No,
it's
listen.
shorter than yours.
Where should
make it long then?
I should make it long.
I'll make a point. Make a point, Adele.
Listen. My argument is Kakayakana, but it's not nice. Don't do that.
Don't do that as well.
Kakayakana.
Okay.
No, but what I would say, Rosalie, let me see, for instance, if I accuse you of stealing, if you accuse me of stealing the golden watch you are wearing, and you go to court and you told the court that Saka stole your watch, and then you are now telling me, Saka, come and explain to the court how you stole the watch. And I say, you said I stole your watch. Let the judges judge. I mean, I won't say anything. That is exactly what happened. I won't say anything because it will inure to your benefit that it will rather inure to the benefit of the accuser. Right? Yeah, I'm talking about the cross-examination. It will rather inure to the benefit of you when I decided not to say anything because it is your word that will be used to judge. And in the NDC case, and in law, I mean, it is not just...
Saka.
You see, that is the reason why you've been losing in court.
Saka.
No, because let me tell you.
Wait, okay.
I'm saying that is the reason you've been losing in court.
Saka.
Because the court is not like the streets.
Saka.
If you accuse somebody, if you accuse an accuser, and then the accuser says that I won't answer, it means that whatever even evidence that the accuser even have, for instance,
yours should be solid.
Yours should be solid. The defense of Jem Mensah was the witness statement of Jem Mensah was used as just mere hearsay.
Okay.
And therefore the profit value was very low. They were not attaching so much importance to whatever defense that Jem Mensah had provided. Therefore, they were using your case that you made in court to do the judgment. And your case was so porous. You didn't even advance any serious evidence to advance your case and to ensure that you get...
Maybe the evidence was to have, Jean in the casket, docket, sorry.
That was their aim.
Yeah, maybe. No. I'm saying maybe. So we can get more facts from that particular cross-examination.
Jem Mensah herself had corrected whatever that the NDC took to court. You remember, by the time there's no election in Ghana,
corrected.
That by the time that the declaration was done, all results have come. And for instance, about 40,000.
But immediately we hit 50 plus 1.
Immediately one hit 50 plus 1.
We can declare.
You can declare.
Yeah.
And then even if there are outstanding results, and if you add all those outstanding results to even the losing candidate, and then you know that the person cannot hit. In all that, whatever mistake that the NDC talked about that Jem Mensah made, even if all those mistakes inure to their benefit, they were still not going to catch up with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Okay, Adele.
But you don't think that it is necessary for us to come to the conclusion of the matters? You don't think it is necessary?
No, but the electoral commission, you asked me a question, the electoral commission did that. They corrected themselves.
Adele, make your point,
please. Common sense should play in our laws and should play in whatever judgments we give. Common sense. And the reason why it has to play, and the reason why I indicated earlier on, that those BVDs, those documentations with the Electoral Commission, they are our taxes. It is not yours. It is not for the judges. It is our taxes. The people of Ghana, some have gone out and voted. You understand what I'm saying? And we're saying that these things that are with you, we've been given copies for certain reasons. We don't have it all tallied. But this is something that has to do with the state. This is something that has to do with the will of the people. This is not somebody stealing a watch. Stop. Why do we have treason?
So
what is treason?
We should throw the laws.
Oh. Kagamba.
The laws of the land.
Saka, let him make his point, because the way you keep interfering, you get him confused.
Saka.
Okay, go on.
I am making a very, very passionate appeal.
Yeah, make the passionate appeal.
We've sat here on several occasions and said that we need to do something about our constitution. Why? If everything is okay with the constitution, why do you change it? So that is why we expect that when decisions are left in the hands of judges, these are the people who are supposed to put two people together and listen to what they have to say and then make a decision. And based on their discretion, come to a conclusion. We're saying add some extra common sense to it. This is what we're saying. We're not in any way saying that, no, the law didn't say that. We're saying that at least go an extra mile. You can go an extra mile just for the sake of the fact that we want peace. I have heard people say that the 2020 elections and the 2012 petitions that we had, perhaps some of the reasons why it was not flipped was because, there's already a certain president who has been declared, changing it will be a problem. I have heard people say that. Why? If that is what it was, why? The judges perhaps looked at all the details and said, no, this one, no, this one, no. This one. It will create. You don't just stand and say, oh, the law says cut off his hands, so you cut off his hands.
Anyway, let me read some message. Good morning, Rosalind. Can he see the double standard of the NDC? Okay, can he see the double standards of the NDC? In one breath, they want the executive to interfere with the judiciary and ask the case against Jache to be dropped when there are separation of powers. In the other breath, they want others who make statements to be charged for treason. When you graduate from a university and you go for an interview and you tell the panelists that you have a degree and on that basis you are offered a job on that basis. After you start working, you are asked to produce your certificate and you say it is yet to be issued to me. Okay, so I think all the person is trying to say is that, well, you know, we've taken Jache Kwesi to court. It's fine, you know, but when it comes to the NDC, they are now taking Katie Hammond to court, and they feel that that is okay, but it's not okay for Jache Kwesi to go to court.
I think the person was right. Okay, was talking about the renunciation of the dual citizenship.
The dual citizenship, yeah.
So he was talking about the fact that the situation at the time he was filing lied, and then was now waiting for the certificate to come.
At the time he was picking the forms.
No, at the time he was filing at the Electoral Commission. Because when you are filing, that is where, you know, if you look at the Jonathan Rawlings case, the Electoral the Supreme Court came to the conclusion that where the qualification criteria, you know, is activated is when you are filing at the Electoral Commission. So at the time that, when you are filing at the Electoral Commission, that is what by Jonathan Rawlings case. So at the time you are filing, you have to swear under oath, and then the situation swore under oath that he did not have allegiance to any other country except Ghana when he was lying, and that is the reason why he's in court, because he lied under oath, and then before the election, then he had the renunciation certificate. And which was immaterial. At that time, it is immaterial because you have already lied and then the process has moved on.
Okay.
So that's the matter. And that is what he was saying.
So what would you say about Article 94.2 when it indicates that a person will not be qualified, a member of parliament will not be qualified if he owes allegiance to another state?
No, not a member of parliament.
A member?
No.
A member. Take it, open it and read it.
Wait.
If you are a member of parliament already,
Saka,
a member of parliament cannot be qualified.
Saka,
when you are, who is a member of parliament? When you elected, listen.
Saka, let him make his points, please.
The person is yet to become a member of parliament. So don't say a member. I'm just correcting with the word you use.
Saka, can he land?
I mean, see, I'm not interrupting.
No, you are interrupting.
But what he's saying is that.
You are interrupting me because when you are making your point,
he's saying that a member of parliament.
Let him make his point.
You cannot be a member of parliament. Right?
Let him make his point, please.
Yes.
Adele.
Article 94.2. The word used in the Constitution, I wish they can pull it out there. The word used is a member, not a parliamentary candidate. Not a candidate, a member. When do you become a member of parliament? When you're elected for, and then they have said
when you are sworn in.
When you are sworn in. Before you... No, this one is talking about allegiance. You will not be qualified, okay, to be a member of parliament.
Yes.
If you owe allegiance to any other country. And I'm saying that at the time that Jache Kwesi was sworn in, did he have allegiance? We're talking allegiance, right? Allegiance. He must have allegiance to another country. You don't have to. It has to be Ghana. At the point, because in the Supreme Court's own ruling, they indicated that even though he had his renunciation certificate as far back as 26th November, they felt that qualification starts as far back as filing. Okay, and we're saying that 94 is saying that you would not have that allegiance if you're a member of parliament. At the time that he was sworn in to become a member of parliament, did he have allegiance to Canada? No. You can say whatever you want to say.
Look at the absurdity is that.
Anyway,
the absurdity is that, if you are, you know, one of the qualifications is that you have to be 21. So if you are 20 years, and then you go and file at the Electoral Commission, and then they ask the declaration form, then you say that, oh, I am 21 when you are 20. Then you win the election. But by the time
you are
of being sworn in, then you get to 21. So it means that somebody can win election and now go and sit in the house and wait for his qualification to come.
Anyway,
that is absurd.
No.
Okay.
You're not absurd.
All right.
That is absurd.
That is not the argument.
Okay.
That is not the argument.
Can we move into alcohol and tobacco?
Yeah.
Quickly, and then we go. Okay, so we know Ministry of Health is actually advocating for taxes on these products to be increased, or taxes on tobacco, taxes on alcohol, because it looks like the consumption is actually causing a lot of, harm to human body, and people seem to be consuming it. Too many parties, too many fun. I don't know if it's the price, the cost that is making people do that, or it's actually stress that is making people drink and smoke. Saka, your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, alcohol and tobacco is one of the ancient habits that people form, and it's difficult to live. I mean, when the crave set in, no matter how it takes, you want to do it. The crave for it and the price for it is what we call perfectly inelastic. No matter how much it takes for you to get it, you will do. So, as a government, we also know. I mean, even worldwide, that is the reason why when you look at the back of tobacco, they normally written on it.
Harmful to your health.
Yeah, that tobacco smoking is harmful to your health. Because if it's harmful to your health, why do you still want to take something that is harmful to your health? And in the nation, and even the WHO, why do you allow something that you yourself? Because if you look at the cancer cases that goes on in the world and other, lung diseases, a lot has to do with smoking of tobacco and all that. But you see, the industry is so vibrant, the money that it brings, it helps the economies of those countries and all that, and therefore it becomes increasingly difficult for government to manage. But what government can do is that to leverage on it and get something, in order to help the people. For instance, we have people who are secondary smokers. So if Adele go and smoke his tobacco, and then I am sitting down and then I become secondary smoker, government should get money in order for me to be treated. NHIS and all those things. Government will have to get money to ensure all these things. And therefore, let's leverage on people's irresponsible... Sorry. Let's leverage on the fact that people want to... you can call it any way.
Sometimes it's an addiction.
People addiction, not irresponsible.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
People's addiction. And if we put such an amount, some taxes, maybe the taxes can even let some people even think twice.
I think it will deter people from it. Akpeteshi, there's no tax on akpeteshi, but it's highly consumed.
Yeah, akpeteshi should be taxed. It should be taxed and taxed very well. Because, I remember some time ago, some soldiers came from UK or something, and they lodged in a hotel. They went and bought apetition, thinking that it was one of those gins that they can easily take. When they took it, they died. All of them, about 3 of them or so.
And maybe they overconsumed it.
They touched like normal alcohol. So they were just consuming.
They abused it.
And all that. So we should tax some of these things so that even as those who smoke and all those things satisfy their crave, government also gets some money from it and then develop the nation, other than just allow them to do whatever, and in the end,
probably we could even use that tax to fix, the health sector.
Exactly.
Yeah. Adele.
Rosalind, for every one person that dies from smoking, for example, tobacco, you have 30 others who are struggling, lung cancer, chronic bronchitis, OPCD, kidney-related issues, liver, lungs. I think it is laudable. As a Muslim, I don't do alcohol.
Yeah.
I've never tasted it. I don't know how it feels like.
You've never smoked either?
No, I don't do that.
Same with Saka, right? Or Saka?
No. I won't go near those things.
And you see, the funny thing is that when you go to the hospital, and they're going to do sometimes when they have to do a few tests, the women, even when they go to the hospital and they're going to give birth and all of that, some of the questions they ask you is that, do you drink? Because there's a reason. We all know that it comes with so many problems. Why do it? For me, I think it's the most, it's difficult. But you see, people have desires and they just want to quench those desires. So for me, I think that since it cannot, this is a secular state, since it cannot be taken away, if the state wants to leverage on it and make money to improve the health sector or to at least help with it, because I heard the minister indicate that non-communicable diseases, they would want to use on NCD. They would want to get whatever extra resources they're going to get from there and fix it inside NCD, which is something that is laudable. So for me, I think it is a step in the right direction. In fact, if they can increase it, it's even better.
So they should increase it, and even Akpeteshida, there's no tax we should tax.
As for
but are you sure they don't tax Akpeteshida?
Why are you going to tax it?
Who are you going to tax?
Who are you taxing?
So all these years we don't tax Akpeteshida.
No, we don't tax.
We should expand the tax net and tax Akpeteshida, because the consumers, people who patronize Akpeteshida, there are many in the system.
Of course.
I know people who wear tie and all those things. You would think that they are going to take beer. They are moving towards that petition.
It's a delicacy for some people.
Yeah, so and these people must be taxed.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here this morning. We are very grateful that you could make time. Adele, your final words to people who are watching, and then I take Sakas on as well.
2024. It's about 515 extra, we're counting our days. We're waiting for 7th January. If Allah wills, the next coming election will be in power. And then on the 7th of January, or on the 8th of January, because it will be celebration day, I pray that I sit on the same platform with you so we can have that conversation of victory.
All right.
Rosalyn, I think that everybody can wish whatever. And you can even dream and fantasize.
Like you dreamt about.
But you see, I wouldn't have had problem if NDC were coming with a fresh, new person with ideas or whatever. But to come with the John Dramani Mahama, who had been given the opportunity and failed miserably. Because he is the first person in history of this country, first sitting president that has been booted out of power with close to 1 million, with 1 million difference and all that. So I don't think that if, granted that we are even going through crisis, and the crisis that were caused by pandemic that has never been seen in a century. Every country is reeling under devastating effects of COVID-19, and Ghana is no different. And therefore, if you want somebody that can paddle us, because already we are recovering and all that, and I think that we will not need John Dramani Mahama to come and plunge us once again into doom. So those days, when I'm coming for programs at Joy FM and other places, you first of all call to find out whether the light is on. And even when you are on the program, you are not sure that you end the program. And for such a person to now want to stage a comeback, I think that Ghanaians will not allow that.
Okay, Talia, thank you so much for being here, gentlemen. Super great. So, my two gentlemen, the ticket of the NDC is Adele Umar Ibrahim, and on the ticket of the NPP is Kasalia. Thank you for being here, gentlemen.